This is Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. I decided to do this selectively choosing what guitar parts to do to make it more sort of a solo piece. So and I stuck to the more acoustic route on the beginning and then the more electric route on the chorus. So 3 pieces, check it out. So what we're going to do is center around like an E major chord, but play it to where you don't play it with your first finger. So in other words, you're going to play it like you play an E major bar chord, a major bar chord shape, but without the first finger down in the open position. So if you can get an E major like that, scoot it all the way up the octave to where, and I kind of like to use the 3rd finger as a guide just because it's on the lowest string that you're fretting. That's at the 14th fret. So if you do your E all the way up here, it should sound like that. Now that's where he starts this riff. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to scoot it down a whole step. It should sound like that. That's your first move. Now your next move goes all the way to the 7th fret with the first finger. This is a power chord, same A string root. 3rd finger and pinky are on the 9th fret of the 4th and the 3rd strings. Open E string still, and open high and 2nd strings. So nice and glassy, chimey sounding still. First half of the intro riff. So sounds like this. So you just do 1 hit on each of the 2nd and 3rd chords. It does take a little getting used to. Now the next bit, he uses kind of like an F shape, if you know your open F chord, or rather your kind of half barred F chord, and just scoot it up to the 5th fret and roll your first finger off to where you're not fretting over the high string, you're playing it as an open E string. Now also throw in the 5th string. That's your A, and you've played a very cool version of an A chord. Now my thumb blocks the low string, so I can strum freely. That's the next piece. So it's going from here to this. Takes a little bit of work. Good shapes, good way to present the acoustic qualities of the guitar too, I think. So from here, and I'll show you the rhythm specifics in a moment, but he puts his pinky down on the 3rd string. So it's going to sound like that. He's suspending that. That's an A sus4. So the whole thing now sounds like this from the beginning. Notice there's something tricky in there. I would say this is probably the last step to throw in, but he's hitting the bass note first, and then he's hitting the chord. Now the way that you have to accomplish this, let me run through it one more time. That thing there is that you have learned how to play your chord comfortably and make your changes comfortably. To get that bass note without sacrificing your strumming, you need to be able to land on the chord shape without actually squeezing into the chord shape. And it's tricky, but it's something that I'm saying is the final step, because you need to be able to play through the song and have a comfortable rhythm. But it's pretty neat to play the bass and then the chord. And you'll hear him kind of fluctuate on the rhythm as he goes through the song, but it's kind of neat to be able to do the bass and then the chord. So the way that it works is that because you're in the chord shape, but you're not pressing into the fret, as you strum down, you have a dead string from your thumb, open string that you want, and these are dead. But they're ready to go the very next strum. You just press in and you have your chord. Very cool technique. So now the actual strumming pattern on the A chord sounds like this. It's bass, and there's a combination of hammers and pull-offs with the pinky. Sounds like that. Oh, sorry. I'll be honest and very unteacher-like. It's not super important where you put these. I took the very first pass through the song as kind of a sample reference, and for what I felt was the majority of what he's playing. But I also think, I mean, as you listen to it, you'll see that he's doing what he feels. And so feel free to manipulate that, and if something's clicking a little more for you as you do this, do that instead. I mean, who really cares, you know? Jimmy Page is going to be proud either way. So let me go through the whole intro part now. And you notice as I looped it, I like to kind of go bass, chord up top at the very beginning of it. Not necessary, but very cool as a final step when you're comfortable. So let's move on to the next piece now. This is the pre-chorus where you hear the bass going, you know, I grow so tired, that part there. E chord, same way, don't use your first finger. And you're gonna go. Next chord is kind of like an F sharp minor bar chord if you're familiar, without the bar and without the low string. So you're gonna do third finger and pinky are both at the 4th fret on the A string and the D string. First finger is at the 2nd fret, and then the highest 2 strings are open. Very awesome sound. So that's a transition from your E. You're taking these 2 fingers, your 3rd and your pinky, as kind of a platform to slide up and change shapes quickly. That's your first move. That you don't fret the low string on this move, because you don't really want to hear that, is your 3rd finger has to ride the underside of the low string. So hopefully you have that, because here's the hard part. Now you jump all the way up to our second shape, that E shape that was at the 12th fret with the 3rd finger. So it's just like that. Always looks easier on TV. Fortunately, you do have a little space in the rhythm as well. Next part, a lot easier, is the same A shape from before. You just do that. You do A, sus4, release. Next part, Ramble On. Okay. E major bar chord. No high string, no low string. 7th fret. You're going to play that. The change is just lifting off your 3rd finger and barring over with your 1st. And then slide out. So those are 2 heavy hits, both down strums. Now here's the hardest part, I think. The way you're going to do this, great chord once you learn it though. Very cool to do other things with in the future. Now the way you're going to do this is picture the same A style shape, or F style shape in A like we were doing before, down at the 3rd fret now. Our first finger's on the 3rd fret, so 3rd position. And you have open G string. So your 3rd finger is at the 5th fret. Open G, first finger's at the 3rd fret. No high string, no A string, no E string. Just 3 strings. It's kind of a difficult grip, you just have to tilt your fingers a little bit. Now the way you have a pattern here of actually sliding and strumming, you're going to strum, slide, and strum 2 more times. Down, slide on the up strum down, and then up again. And then you're going to repeat the pattern backwards. You know, sometimes I leave the G out. It depends on how I feel. I think it kind of fills up the riff a little bit. It sounds cool because when you hit this, you just have a nice ringy feeling, kind of like the rest of the song has. Okay, so once you get that, then you're going to do the same exact pattern, but instead of a slide, you're going to do a pull-off from your 3rd finger to your middle finger. So that is a D string melody of 5/4. A little bit awkward, but you do get used to it. So it goes. That's a pull-off, and then 2 more strums. And then 2 heavy hits at the end of your G, and then actually lean over with your 1st finger that's been muting the high string the whole time, and play it. And I hope your G string, your high string sounds better than mine. Doesn't squeak or buzz or whatever. Okay, so the last 2 hits again are like that. So hit, slide, and that's how your chorus music goes. Okay, so now all the pieces. So that is Ramble On, one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs, and done in single guitar format. Hope you enjoy it. Practice hard, rock hard acoustically. Send your requests, and I will see you next time, guys. So take it easy. Peace.